Hey, happy Monday, baby. Get started in a moment. Beautiful, beautiful Monday today. Happy Valentine's Day. Hodl me, baby. We'll give it a couple of moments and I will get cracking. Quite a few things to talk about. Some big things. Bear with me one moment. Just monitor that. Okay. Is this live? There we go. All right, guys. Let's get it started. Looks like it's an intimate one. Not everyone waking up on Monday. Get up! Get off and jump on the stream. Come on. Jeez. Monday morning. All right. Let me show my screen. Okay. Look, there's a few fundamental things that we're going to talk about today. Obviously, as we always do, we break things down technically here as well. But there's some concerning things. Okay. Concerning at the moment for hodlers, okay? For hodlers. Obviously, I am a hodler. As I say, happy Valentine's Day. Hodl me, baby. But we've got to accept that there's some near-term downside we've got to go through. 10:30 here in Oz. Hey, how you doing? Very good evening. Sorry, I forgot as well. We've obviously the time different time zones. So let's take a look here. On the weekly, if you look here at Bitcoin, that candlestick, potential reversal candlestick, potential, as I always say, I like paying attention to candlesticks. We've got a reversal candle on our hands here. Bearish. Evening star. Evening stars appear at the top of the trend. Bear with me one moment. Here we go. So evening stars appear at the top of the trend. Obviously, last week we were talking about whether Bitcoin was going to be, whether this was going to be like a fake out, right? Or a bull trap. After we surged above, this key area of resistance. But now we've slowed down. I did say slow down. I did say keep an eye on this area here, this big area of supply, okay, around that sort of 43,000 region. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the charts in a minute, but I just want to talk about some of the fundamental stuff. And the first thing's Russia. Okay, I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but we've got a situation at the moment on the geopolitical front where Russia, I won't go into all the ins and outs, but just Russia are on the verge of potential invasion of Ukraine. Okay, now with any geopolitical tension in the markets, you can see it here, all the updates, from UK Armed Forces Minister fears Russian invasion of Ukraine, very close. We're on the verge, they say we're on the verge of a war, so on and so forth. But what does this mean for the markets? At the end of the day, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it's a riskier asset. Okay, it's a riskier asset. In times of trouble, people take their money out of things like this, stocks, cryptocurrency, and they put their money into safety. Okay, so we have to keep an eye on this, because if all hell breaks loose and, God, universe forbid, whatever, that this actually takes place, as I say, it's going to really open up the floodgates for some selling for the cryptocurrency industry. Okay, guys, so do sort of have that noted down. Keep an eye on any developments there if you're speculating in cryptocurrency, or even if you're hodling. Okay, it's key that you keep an eye on these things that are going to affect the broader markets. On the second point that I wanted to raise, okay, last week, so I did a video on it, right? My last YouTube video, I spoke about one of the big, a warning for Bitcoin, and that was regarding the US central bank, okay? The US central bank, the FOMC, raising interest rates faster. And I spoke about the repercussions, breaking that down, how that affected Bitcoin and how that affected, other asset classes as well, the broader financial markets. I just want to bring something up here because it's relevant. So in the video, I spoke about this. So we had data, okay, last Thursday, and it was US inflation data, so CPI. So where this data was higher, okay, inflation's heating up in the United States, it means the central bank, the United States, have to raise interest rates faster. Okay, they have to potentially raise faster and by more, which then, with that happening, is bullish for the dollar, Okay, so we saw the dollar making a big bounce last week off this trend line. I'm going to come back to that in a moment, but it's also bullish for yields. Okay, you see yields in the US are rising, so fixed income yields. So just quickly put it in a nutshell for you. If you are an investor and you want to invest in something safe, then you invest in bonds, right? Government bonds, because they offer you a fixed return per year. Okay, it's safe. It's not going to, diminish or fluctuate aggressively as such compared to other asset classes like stocks and cryptocurrency. It's safe. You put your money in it, you're guaranteed a return on your investment. So the yields are rising on this because markets are pricing in, anticipating that the FOMC are going to raise rates and they're going to raise faster. So this is negative for Bitcoin because people take their money out of the riskier assets and they put their money into the safety. So that's why fixed income is rallying at the moment as well. The yields are rallying. Okay, look here. It's important that we just take a look at dollar quickly because this is all tied in with the movements that we're seeing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies right now. So you see this trend line's been supporting the price since the back end of May, and obviously taking a nice bounce there for dollar, and it's expected to just resume that trend to the upside and go and print. You can see we're printing higher lows. Can you see that? Higher lows? All right. And we've more or less been printing higher highs. Okay. So we're probably going to challenge this higher high and print a new higher high in towards sort of perhaps 98. So that's what's going on sort of just fundamentally there. Okay. And markets are further pricing in action. Look, we've got the big investment bank, Goldman Sachs, sees Fed hiking 7 times this year instead of 5. So that potentially just near-term negative for Bitcoin, near-term negative for those cryptocurrencies. Okay. Guys, just before we break things down technically, I just want to remind you, right, in the link of this description, you can check out CoinCasso.com/IR. Go into their investor relations page. I explained this before. You can have ownership, get involved in, as I say, diversify your investments, potentially become an owner in CoinCasso. Do have their own native token. There's a lot of member benefits as well. NFT drops, merchandise, exclusive offers for members. And obviously at the end of the day, if they're gaining, you're gaining as an investor as well. So check it out. You can see they have an official page breaking down their sort of their pitch deck here on Cedars. I'd like you to have a look at that and understand what they're about and becoming a potential investor in that. By the way, just quickly as well, before we break things down further technically, there's a few things just in the news to know. I don't know if you're a Coinbase holder, if you're a Coinbase user. I use Coinbase Pro as well as CoinCasso, but they went down. Just it's massive, really. This is what's beautiful about long term about the cryptocurrency industry, because or the sector rather. The Super Bowl, obviously, massive platform, huge. The advertisements game for in the Super Bowl is massive. Okay, it's huge. So amazing exposure for cryptocurrency and obviously for Coinbase. And where obviously they ran their ads, when they had their ads during the Super Bowl, it caused an outage of the service. They couldn't keep up. They didn't unexpected amount of traffic coming in there. So that forced them to close down for a moment. So just in case you are a Coinbase user and you panic there. So as I say, look, more traffic than ever encountered for them, hence why they went down during the Super Bowl. All right, let's break things down technically, see what's going on. All right, so Bitcoin, start off as we always do. We'll scroll down. Okay. So starting off on a weekly, going top down. All right, top to bottom. Said bit of reversal candlestick there. Look, we lost momentum here after 2 weeks in the green, and now we've closed in the red. What we did, you can see here nice and clearly on the daily, we've run into resistance around that sort of previous lower high. You see how we're respecting this downward trend, sort of lower high, and we're trying to break this down, essentially, this structure. But it seems we're going to carry on, respect that, and potentially come all the way back down again, okay? One thing I'm monitoring right now is this consolidation via the daily. Look, consolidate, forming a bit of a bearish pennant structure, subject to potential breakout to the downside. If you look here on the 4 hour, you can see that sort of pennant quite clearly. Narrowing price action there, subject to that breakout to the downside. So just monitoring this for the time being, because what this could do, present a nice opportunity near term. You see the lower part of that range, at 41,850, there or thereabouts, and sort of to the upside 42,500. So either way, I'm waiting for a respective breakout retest here or breakout retest to the downside. To the downside is making more sense at the moment, given that what we're seeing on a weekly, potentially there, and what we're seeing on the daily, just this narrowing price action. Obviously, these bearish candlesticks here, obviously we're going to create a little bit of a wick. So we do, and then resume potentially to the downside. You can see how catastrophic, I can get that word out then, how catastrophic it will be if we break this again, this sort of 42, say basically 42,000 towards 41,800. If we break that, all hell breaks loose, and we're going to go and print new lower low and respect this market structure here. Okay, so if I was to measure this to the downside, seeing that equivalent move on the break south, and we'd be heading towards 38,900. But I'd expect us to dwarf that, if anything. But that'll just be a conservative target, just respecting that playing out technically this sort of pennant flag structure. Okay, so just monitoring that at the moment. But as I say, that'll be on a breakout and retest of sort of 41,800, and then we drop to the south. With Ethereum, okay, what's going on here? Look at this. This is quite disappointing actually for Ethereum. So obviously it's the same as Bitcoin, firmly sort of trending to the downside. And then look what's happened on the weekly. Remember we had this left shoulder, this head, this right shoulder. You can see it really clearly on the daily. Oh, bear with me one moment, guys. You can see it really clearly on the daily. Remember this head and shoulder structure. And look, we've gone for the big retest and we've sucked back below. That's devastating. Okay, look here on the weekly. Similar to Bitcoin, big rejection there at that area of, former support, new resistance, big rejection there, and making way for further potential downside. Okay, quite worrying. On a daily, similar, just narrowing right now, just narrowing, consolidating after this breakout south. And really, it just looks like we are going to continue to the downside. You see here, like, for example, on the 4 hour, this trend. See, sell, consolidate, sell, and now we're sort of consolidating again. This is, what am I on? I'm on the 4 hour, where we're sort of forming a flag here. Similar to what you'll see at that price action, as I explained there with Bitcoin, that narrowing pennant structure. But then the flag here, we're going to see a breakout to the downside and resume to the south, possibly. XRP. Remember we had that nice pump to the upside. Look, that was a failed potential bullish pennant there for XRP. And we had that nice pump to the upside because remember this was the outperformance for XRP. Why did we see that? Just a quick reminder. There was just some positive updates coming out of, or some positive allowances from the judge, one of the judges that's overseeing the case between the SEC and Ripple. And as a reminder on that case, that's just, as to whether XRP should be classified as being classified as a security. But what we've done here actually on the weekly is we've left this upper wick. Whether that wants to get filled, time will tell. I don't know if we'll get a breakaway between XRP and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. I sort of doubt that. But yeah, technically here, not too much going on. Just monitoring this pullback at the moment with Bitcoin and Ethereum. DOT, disappointed in as well. With DOT, look here. Again, look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakout, retest, some big rejection there, guys. And, out of this flag, form sort of evening star, sort of reversal candlesticks, losing momentum, and then big breakout of that flag. And now, again, we're coming down to this huge sort of 18 towards sort of $17 territory. If that gives way, then you can see, look in the past where we're coming down. We're just going to work zone to zone. Could come down to $14, sort of retest that $18 area again, and then all the way down to those lows. When was that? That was, last year, in the middle of last year, down towards $10, which would be devastating. But then again, it presents opportunities for like these big projects. Like DOT is serious value right now. It's cheap. $18 bargain. But for now, looks like we are going to continue to the south. See all this sort of narrowing. Look, flag here, breakout. We're going to have another flag and then breakout and resume to the south, perhaps. What's going on ADA? ADA set to test $1 again, which is a bit annoying, but what can we do? A bit of consolidation here. If you look sort of on a weekly, we haven't done anything for the past 1, 2, 3 weeks, but that's worrying to me. Like here, look, you see where we're consolidating for a few weeks and then we break out and resume to the south. Same as up here, consolidating, but grinding to the downside, consolidating here, but potentially grinding to the downside. If that $1 gives way, we're going to see a very, very fast drop here and reverse a lot of this upside pump. Obviously, we hope that doesn't happen. Okay, look, we're getting a bit of a push higher at the moment with Ethereum. So let's just watch this pullback. I'm not overly convinced. Yeah, not overly convinced right now. Bitcoin, keep an eye on this, pennant. So as I say, really, for the upside, let's just mark this up, just say, want to break out of this range. Little retest there of that sort of 42,500, and then we push to the upside, okay? I've seen when these pennants have failed, but we just trade what we see. Okay, or we get this respective breakout retest to the downside and a nice drop in towards 39k. All right, so we're just monitoring this consolidation right now. I'm not convinced on Ethereum, right? Looks not convinced at all. All right, so guys, this week, as I say, markets are focusing on Russia. Okay, that Russia's the first factor. Keep an eye on further pricing in of Fed rate hikes, FOMC, as I explained in that video that went up on Friday. And is there a third factor? No, not really. Just those are the two big factors to keep an eye on. We do have, regarding FOMC, actually, by the way, just worth keeping in mind. Oh, we've just seen a bit of a pop of dollar weakness, actually, across the board. Big moves, actually. I'm not too sure what's happened there. So, yeah, keep an eye on, what date are we at? The FOMC meeting minutes, actually. This will be interesting to see just how aggressive are they pricing in for potential rate hikes in March. Are we going to get 50 basis points or are we going to get 25 basis points? Yeah, meeting minutes, okay? Sometimes we don't always get a lot from these, but it's worth keeping an eye on this Wednesday. But yeah, dollar's just taking a bit of a pop to the downside, I believe. Just a quick pop. Just a bit of Monday volatility. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the time being. I'm going to prepare some different content for this week outside of the streams as well. So do bear with me just on sort of token reviews, project reviews, so on and so forth. I'm definitely going to take some time to do that this week because just to mix it out from these streams as well. Other than that, have an amazing one. Have a blessed week, guys. Much love. Let's get it.